Hi my beautiful angels, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to get started and let's just get right on into it. For today's video, we're going to be talking about stepping into your goddess energy. I don't know why, but I feel really called to do just coaching women on being their own goddess. Because I feel like I myself have lost touch with that, and it's not even losing touch, but it's just reconnecting with that side of myself, which is something that I'm doing now as I speak, as I'm making this video, just getting in touch with my inner goddess, remembering who she is, what is it that she likes, what is it that she does, what life does she live. And that's what I want to help you guys do as well, because I don't want to be the only one that's in her goddess energy. I want to help everybody else. Every woman deserves to be in her beautiful goddess energy, in her divine feminine energy. So that is why this video is here, and let's just get right on into it. The first thing that you're going to want to do when you're thinking about this goddess self is asking yourself, who is she? What is it that she does? What are the things that makes her happy? How does she spend her free time? How does she take care of herself? How does she pour love into herself? How does she nourish her body? Does she eat junk food, or does she eat foods that actually fuel her and make her feel good? Because when you're eating stuff like things like honey buns and chips and all that, which I love, I don't feel the greatest. I'm not fueling my body for it to perform at its best, or just for me to feel at my best. I feel at my best when I'm eating whole foods, when I'm eating foods that are actually good for me. You have to prioritize, the good stuff, like the stuff that's actually good for your body and not just good for your, I don't know if it's dopamine levels or one of those. But yeah, back to the questions that she would ask herself. How would she carry herself? Envision that goddess version of you, like do a little meditation, maybe take some time to journal, write down, who is she? Does she walk with grace, confidence, elegance? Does she carry herself like she's the baddest in the world, like a goddess? Of course she does. Ask yourself those things and write that down. Get clear on that image of who she is, who that goddess version of you is. Because right now, if you're watching this video, clearly you're not that goddess self, or you're in the process of becoming her. And that's amazing. And the thing is, you can get there. It just takes having a clear picture, visualizing that, and start to do the things that that version of you would do in order to have those things that that version of you would have. Another great question is, does she observe or does she react? And the answer is the goddess version of you would more than likely observe. She would be observing. She would see people for who they are, really get clear on what the person is trying to say or do instead of reacting, instead of shouting out, yelling back. She would observe. Like I said, just get clear on this picture. How does she carry herself? How does she speak? What does she do? What does she eat? What are her hobbies? What kind of movement does she do on a daily basis? How does she connect with Mother Nature? That's a big one. In order for you to be your most goddess self and embody that energy, you have to go outside. You have to be in the sunlight. We are connected to Mother Nature, and it seems like every single day we get further and further from that. We stay inside more. We are on our phones more. We're doing things that are disconnecting us from who we truly are, from that version of us that we are yearning to be. And it's like a constant cycle. So get outside, go hug a tree, touch the grass, do something that is beneficial for you that will help you connect, and you're gonna feel so much better because of it. Another really good question to ask yourself is, how would that goddess version of you treat herself? Would she treat herself with kindness and compassion and patience? Or would she speak to herself negatively? Would she hate on herself, shame herself? Absolutely not. Yet that is what we do every single day. Especially if you've grown up that way, you shame yourself, experience guilt all the time, you talk badly about yourself. No, the goddess version of you will not do that. She would treat herself with kindness and compassion. She would speak kindly to herself, and that is what you need to be doing. Even if you have a best friend, do you talk to them negatively? Say mean things to them? No. If they're going through something, you tell them they're the most amazing person in the world. You lift them up. You don't bring them down. So why would you bring yourself down when you should be your own best friend, your own biggest lover? It does not make sense. But sadly, that is the way that we've conditioned to be, whether because of our environment, society, the people we grew up around, and that has to change. I know you've grown up that way, but that doesn't mean that you have to continue to be stuck in the same patterns. After all, they are not benefiting you, only other people, by keeping you down and bringing them up. So once you have the set image of her, once you know who she is, start being her. And I want you to remember these 3 words: be, do, and have. Before you can become this goddess version of yourself, you have to be her. Be, do, have. You have to be that version of you in order to start doing the things that that version of you does. And then you have the things that your goddess self has. And a lot of people try to do it backwards. We try to do have, do, and be. We want to have those things before we can be happy. We want to have the money before we can feel abundant and free. We want to have the house, the car, the everything before we can be happy, but that is not how that works. You have to be this version of you. You have to tap into those emotions and thoughts beforehand in order for you to start having those things. If you know anything about quantum physics and all that, those lovely things that I'm gonna have trouble explaining right now, you know what I'm talking about. You have to invoke the feelings already. You have to experience that gratitude already, those feelings of joy, those blessings. You have to tap into the emotions of your goddess self now before you can have the things that your goddess self has. That's the only way to do it. It's like trying to be a master at the piano and you've never played the piano before. It's not possible unless you're just naturally gifted like that, but I don't think most of us are, right? It takes practice, it takes acting, it takes embodying, and it's not even acting like pretending. You're being a version of you that is in here. She's already in there. She's just waiting to be tapped into. She's waiting for you to find her. She's waiting to be let out. You're not pretending. You're not being somebody that you aren't. You're being somebody that you have a desire to be, and if that wasn't for you, the desire wouldn't be there in the first place. Another thing is, I want you to give yourself time. It took you 20, 30, 40 years, however years old you are, to be this current version of yourself. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to step into your goddess energy. I'm not saying it's going to take 2, 5, 10 years. It can take a couple months. It can take a few weeks. It can take a few months. I don't know. It all depends from person to person how much you believe that that is yours. But give yourself time, give yourself compassion, and give yourself grace. If you don't, you're never going to get there. You're going to be stuck in this constant cycle of shame, guilt, anger, sadness, a little bit of happiness, and just going right back into it. And why would you want that? Just do it right the first time. Give yourself that grace, give yourself that compassion, and realize that it's going to take time and there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't want you to shame yourself either for being the way that you currently are. You're not lazy, you're not dumb, you're not all these hurtful words. The only reason that you are the way that you are is because of the environment that you grew up in, or the society, the people you grew up with. And you know what? You leave that stuff in the past. Forgive those people that caused you to grow up like this, and forgive yourself. You're not going to do anything by holding on to that resentment, by holding on to those emotions. Now you're an adult, now you can change. So forgive them, forgive yourself, and like I said, realize that it is not your fault. But now it is your responsibility to change, and that is a beautiful thing, that we don't have to rely on somebody else to make changes for us, right? Like, probably it'd be easier, but we get to do that beautiful inner work and change and become this beautiful version of ourselves that we've always been meant to be. What matters is that you are now searching for that inner goddess. Like I said, letting her out and just being this beautiful version of you. Once again, that you were always meant to be, because if you were not meant to be that version of yourself, that desire wouldn't have been put in your heart. It was put there for a reason. The here and now is all that matters. Like I said, anything that happened in the past, Let it go. There's a really good analogy I heard. It's like you're carrying this suitcase with you, a heavy suitcase that you don't need to be carrying. Like there's no reason for you to carry it. You can put that suitcase down and just walk away. You don't have to keep carrying it with you. You don't have to stay around people that keep reminding you of that suitcase. You get to choose how you show up. You get to choose your new reality. You don't have to keep carrying that trauma, that baggage around. You can let it go. You can forgive. You have the right. You have the opportunity to do so. All that matters is the here and the now. Okay? If we keep staying stuck in the past, experiencing emotions of the past, that's what we're going to keep bringing into our new reality. If you want to be your goddess self, you have to start embodying those emotions, the actions, the thoughts, the feelings that your goddess self would have. It is the only way to do it. The only way. Regardless of what you read, what videos you see, what you listen to, that is the way. Everything is going to tell you the exact same thing. It's all the same stuff, okay? Maybe just slightly worded a little bit differently. Some quick tips I want to share with you guys of how you can make this process a little bit easier is music. Start listening to new music. Listen to music that helps you step into that goddess version of you, that channels that goddess energy. Music plays a big role in your life. If you're listening to music about being a baby mama and hoochie mama and all these things, that's what you're going to bring into your life. So you want to listen to music that empowers you versus depowers you. Another thing is affirmations. Do some affirmations or a self-talk rampage. Play something that makes you feel empowered, that changes your state of being for the day, that makes you feel different, that affirms that new identity, the new identity that you were trying to embody. And also sleep tracks. I will always preach about sleep tracks. Listen to them at night. It's so easy. It's like the soft girl thing to do. You choose a sleep track that you want to listen to and you play that at night while you're sleeping, and you're reprogramming your subconscious mind while you are asleep. It's so easy. It might be a little bit difficult at first, but you're going to get used to it and you're going to reap the benefits. 21 days to however, sometime around there. It takes some time for these things to work, so you have to be patient and be consistent. Another thing I will always recommend is one-on-one coaching, which I do offer that in the link down below. If you're ready to actually step into your goddess energy and stop living in the past and stop living as this version of you that no longer serves you. Another thing that I will always recommend is therapy. Go to therapy, especially if you have trauma from your childhood, from past relationships, from whatever. Go to therapy. It's going to help you a lot, and the investment is well worth it. Anytime you are investing into yourself, that is a worthwhile investment. It is worth your money. It is worth all of it. Pour love into yourself, be kind to yourself, have compassion, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'm so glad that you are here with me, and I love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye!